The United States of America, a powerful nation with powerful obesity. Ever since the end of the Cold War, America had dominated basically the entire globe, becoming the only superpower in the world. But America had been facing increasing tensions, and some even worried that the American democratic experiment may finally come to an end. It all started in the year 2028, when J.D. Vance and Marco Rubio ran against Pete Buttigieg and Kamala Harris. J.D. Vance's campaign did very well at losing, which allowed Pete Buttigieg to win the election. Immediately after the election, conspiracy theories began to emerge that the election was rigged. This caused massive riots to break out in the streets for weeks on end. Pete Buttigieg began to devise a plan to deal with the riots. What could I do about this? Oh, I know. Nothing! Pete Buttigieg was hesitant to devise a response to the riots, hoping that they would just fizzle out and go away on their own. And now the Democrats were angry too, appalled at Buttigieg's apparent inability to stop the violence. Seeing as Buttigieg's response to the riots was hardly effective, many leftists began to consider taking matters into their own hands. And so they did. February 12th, 2029 marked a string of assassinations of high-profile right-wing political figures. Peter Thiel, Matt Walsh, and Vivek Ramaswamy all died within 48 hours of each other. To this day, nobody knows who did it or why. But this tragic event is widely considered by historians to mark the beginning of the so-called Years of Lead in America. The Years of Lead were a terrible time. Named after a similar era of widespread political violence in Italy, they represented an era when Democrats and Republicans began viewing the other side not just as political rivals, but as enemies. In total, the death toll from its beginning in 2029 to the start of the Second American Civil War was over 24,000 people. Thousands more were wounded or went missing. This increase in political radicalism caused by the Years of Lead, as well as the failures of Pete Buttigieg, caused the Democratic Party to turn more and more towards socialism. In response, the Republican Party began drifting more and more towards far-right Christian nationalism. Both sides would drift further and further away from the other one, until eventually they basically wanted nothing to do with one another, and nothing to do with the country. In the next election, in 2032, J.D. Vance was elected, and the political violence actually got slightly better under his term, mostly because he declared martial law throughout most of the country. Eventually, he would put an end to the martial law, and things went back to normal. And by normal, I mean not normal, because everyone's dying.